Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as promised, here we are with a new video on how to make a Canadian style resume, or you can say how to Canadianize your resume. So my name is Nishant and let's get started. First, let me clear this. Canadian style resume is nothing but just a simple resume. The thing that makes it Canadian style is just the way of writing things, or you can say the format. So first and foremost, there are primarily two types of resumes: chronological and functional. Chronological, as the name suggests, it lists your work experience in a chronological way, starting from the latest experience. And a functional resume is more focused on your skills and expertise rather than the details of your work history. So in most cases, the resume that you would want to stick to is a chronological resume. But there are some cases where functional resume makes more sense. So for example, for a student who does not have any prior work experience, or for someone who has big career gaps and you do not want that to get highlighted. So in those cases, do not use a chronological resume. Or let's take another example. Suppose you are working in a startup or a small to medium sized organization where you wear multiple hats. I mean, you have multiple responsibilities, such as you are an operations specialist, but at the same time you deal with the clients on a regular basis. So that makes you a client executive as well, right? And at the same time, because you have an educational background in suppose finance or accounts, so the company asks you to take care of the billing and invoices as well. But your job title only states that you are an operations specialist. And now the position that you are applying to is called client executive. But nowhere in your resume it states that you have ever held a position called a client manager or client executive or an account executive. Hence, your resume may not get picked even if you have the relevant experience of dealing with clients on a daily basis. So in all those cases where you have multiple responsibilities under one job title, in such cases, a functional resume may be a better choice for you. Let me show you the difference now. In a chronological resume, you write the job title, company name, and duration of employment. And beneath that, you mention what all have you done in that particular role and in that particular company. But in a functional resume, instead of the job title, company, and duration, you mention the particular skill, such as in this case, client management. And beneath that, you highlight your achievements related to this particular skill. I hope it makes sense. Now let's talk about the format. The resume format must contain contact information, career summary, skills, work experience, and education in this particular order. The work experience section would differ based on whether you are making a chronological resume or a functional resume. Rest of the things will remain the same. So, contact information, career summary, skills, work experience, and education. And apart from this, if you have some volunteer experience as well, which is super relevant to the position that you are applying to, then do mention about that as well at the end of the work experience section. Now let's discuss some tips to alter your resume in a Canadian format. You may want to keep a pen and paper just to make notes. So the first thing is that your resume should typically be a maximum of 2 pages. If you do not have a lot of experience, then 1 page should be sufficient. But if you have more than 10 years of experience, or you say 15 years of experience, then you can go up to 3 pages, but still ideally you should try to keep it concise and within 2 pages. Second, a resume is not a storybook. You do not have to vomit everything out. Just focus on providing the highlights of your career and the relevant achievements. Interview is actually the time when you go into the details, not the resume. Third, keep your resume easy to read. Have enough white spaces around. Make it look interesting. Format your resume. By that I mean don't just write everything in the same font size. The subheadings like work experience, skills, career summary, education, they should be at least 1 or 2 font size large and they should be in bold. But at the same time, please keep the formatting style consistent. Next, avoid writing long paragraphs. Everything should be in bullet points and the font size should not be too small. The ideal font size is 11, but you can go down to 10 only and only if it's getting difficult for you to keep it concise and within 2 pages. But please, nothing smaller than that. In the work experience section, always start a sentence with an action verb. So for example, increased the customer satisfaction score by providing exceptional customer experience. So here we started the sentence as increased the customer satisfaction score instead of saying that I helped the organization to improve the customer satisfaction score. Don't waste valuable space in your resume. Only list the experience that is relevant to the role that you are applying to. This would help you to keep your resume relevant and concise at the same time. Next, always try to quantify your achievements. So let's take one of our previous examples. So instead of saying, I helped the organization to improve the customer satisfaction score, you would instead say, increased the customer satisfaction score from 85% to 95% by providing exceptional customer experience. In the skills section, include only those skills which are relevant to the job and are not very generic, like hardworking, honest. I mean, these are not your skills. These are the things which are anyways expected out of you. So please don't write these things. Please. Also, do not mention about your personal interests and hobbies, like I love listening to music, I love baking, I love playing cricket or football. But here's a catch. If you have a hobby on which you actually work on a regular basis and it can demonstrate certain skills which are relevant to the job that you are applying to, then do mention about your interest by creating a separate section at the end which you can call extracurricular activities. So just to give you an example, suppose you are a blogger and you write blogs. And the job that you are applying to is very communication based, where you will have to write a lot of emails, or you can say a lot of marketing creatives, etc. Right? So in such cases, your personal blog can actually help you to get this job. So in those cases, do mention about your interest and also share the link so that anyone can go and validate your work. Also, I have seen some resumes where people do include the word resume and CV at the top of the page. Please don't do that. Everyone know that it's a resume, then why would you want to waste that space? Why? Now coming to the next thing, in Canada you are generally asked to provide references so that the company can do the reference check before they give you the offer. But that doesn't mean that you include the references name and contact details upfront on the resume. Please do not mention anything about the references in your resume. You need to provide the references name and contact details only and only if it is requested. And finally, please avoid using the same generic resume for all your job applications. Customizing and altering your resume for each job is important and worth the time spent. And having said that, it doesn't mean that you have to prepare an all new resume every time. You just have to make changes as needed to make sure that your resume contains the keywords from the job description so that it can pass the machine, that is the applicant tracking system, which filters out your resume, and also it can pass the eyes of the recruiter who will look at your resume. And being a recruiter myself, I'm telling you, I will be looking at your resume. So jokes apart, I have tried to cover a lot of important things in this video. I would not say that it is still a comprehensive list of things that you need to keep in mind while preparing a resume, but what I have shared in this video are some of the most important things to consider. And honestly speaking, it can take more than an hour for me or anyone to talk about resume and its details. And obviously it is not possible to create a 2-hour long YouTube video because it will be super duper boring. So let's keep that for some one-on-one career coaching in the near future. Am I giving a hint here? I don't know. But anyways, please work on these points and I'm sure that you will be surprised to see a drastic difference in your resume. I hope you found this video helpful, and if so, then please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. I'll see you in our next video. Till then, take care and stay safe.